there. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well. And so we're getting a little bit of a late start today on this fourth day of 12 days of a scandalous Christmas story, the series that is. So I'm so excited that you are here today. This evening actually is when I'm dropping this here video, but whatever time of the day that you're actually watching, I hope that you are having a good day thus far. And I hope that all things are working to your greater good. So, oh my goodness, it has been quite a couple of days. We have been really getting into a lot of great stories, I feel, and taking the time to go back into the past just a little bit, because there's been so much going on, of course, in the current present. And 2024 has just been a year of I don't know what the hell is going on, right? And so, I'm hoping for smoother waters at some point. And I guess we'll just have to see how that all shapes up. But I do hope that it does shape up nevertheless, because we do really need some of that calmness. I mean, that's just my thoughts anyways. So being able to take a peruse back into the past a little bit and see how scandalous things were going on back then seems like that's the right kind of thing to do. And of course, I wanted to have something themed with the Christmas time, and for the way of this channel, I wanted to do it in my not so humble opinion style. So here we are. So of course, if you have not been able to see the day 1 through 3 of this series, again, other than just looking at it randomly on the platform, I also do have a playlist that you can feel free to, peruse, which I hope that you do, because I've got several playlists out there actually. And, anything that you want to catch up with in a kind of wave of binging, go right on ahead and check that out. So this one too will be added to the playlist as well. I guess we will go ahead and get started. So we are now perusing ourselves into, a few years from now ago, right? Because we're doing everything in the past. So let's see, we're going to take our, our proverbial travel machine, whichever choice you have, and we're going to go back into time. And the year that we're going back to is 2009. And we actually visited 2009 at some point in this series. So we're going to be there this time as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get into what was going on in 2009 so we can be prepared for what may be to come for the story itself. So according to what was shared, the #1 song was Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas. The #1 movie was Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. And one of the most talked about celebrities in the year 2009 was none other than Lady Gaga. And so, lots was going on. Lots of upheaval was happening as well. We also did have a massive, I feel, heartbreak with the passing of Michael Jackson as well in that year. So, there was lots of ups and most certainly downs, in my opinion. So, that's where we landed in 2009. Now, there was also other people in the world that were having a real doozy of a time as well in 2009. And so we're going to go into one of those stories that happened around the Christmas time in 2009. So that being said, we are going to be visiting the story of one of Charlie Sheen. Now, Charlie Sheen has been very quiet for quite some time now, say over the last few years. The last I recall is him, or I don't know if he came out and said it, or if it was, reported that he was, had a diagnosis of HIV. And I don't know what the parameters around that is now, as far as if he's, what's going on with him. But I do hope that he is taking good care of himself. Charlie Sheen was one of those very popular celebrities back in the day, and I think he was probably considered one of those celebrities that was a heartthrob for a lot of people. And he's been in the game for a really long time. And one movie that I really liked from him, because I didn't really watch a lot of Charlie Sheen, but one movie I liked is The Wraith. That's WRAITH. It's the one about the futuristic car that he actually comes back in, and that he's also connected to. It's a really good movie. Actually, I like to watch that movie around the Christmas time. It's not centered around Christmas, but it's just something about watching it during the Christmas season that I like to kind of pull it out. It's an oldie but goodie. I think it came from the mid or early mid 80s, something like that. Like somewhere between 83, 85, maybe even younger, older than that. I'm not 100% sure, but it was really, really good. And I like a classic every now and again, and that's just one of the ones that I enjoy. So yeah, what's going on with Charlie Sheen nowadays is anyone's guess, but he has had a few tumultuous years with his, I believe they had actually gotten married, ex-wife, what is her first name, by the way? Brooke Mueller. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on with that. It seemed like they had a very toxic relationship. I would say all things alleged, but there was a lot of stuff that came out about them over the years. Seemed to be a lot happening that wasn't for the good. But you know, again, at some point, they went through that toxic relationship, got to the other side of it through divorce. I don't know if they're still fighting with custody situations because they did have twin boys. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it for the most part. So let's go in and see what's going on about that time frame into 2009. Oh, and by the way, I didn't do my featured cup. So this is my featured mug. It's just simply Merry Christmas. Yeah, I thought I'd do a little simple today. And it has like a little Santa on it. It's really cute. Yeah, it's so great. And but yeah, that's what it is. And even though it's in the evening time here as I'm, you know, filming this, it could be the morning by the time you're watching it. So, you know, I've kept a PG with the drink too, but boy, I could use a spirit. But yeah, but we're just doing water again. All right, so let's go on and get into this real quick. Righty then. I would like to maybe even a closer look at who we're talking about. So now Charlie Sheen melts down. Now this is according to the E! Online, where the sharing comes from. Now, for a long time, that was an evergreen Sheen headline, but it was on Christmas morning in 2009 that the actor was arrested on DV charges for allegedly pulling a sharp object on his wife, Brooke Mueller, the mother of his twin sons, Bob and Max, while they were vacationing in Aspen, Colorado. Now, there are other people here, Mueller told the 911 dispatcher per the call released by police days later. My family's here, but right now, if I don't file this, I need to file it now. I've got to file this report. I thought I was going to die for 1 hour. She told police that her husband had held a pointy object to her throat and warned her, "You better be in fear." Sheen would in turn accuse his wife of being the aggressor in that fight. Now, both spouses went to rehab after the incident, and Sheen later pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of misdemeanor ASSAULT. They mutually filed for divorce on November 1st of 2010, putting down the December 25th, 2009 as their date of separation. So as most people are probably, if they're so inclined to be able to do so, opening gifts, sharing lots of love and happy moments, they're over here having a knife fight. For all intents and purposes. And how unfortunate it was. And I don't know how old the twins were at the time when this was happening. I don't know if they were babies at this time or what, but I mean, just how an unfortunate situation that this is what came about that particular Christmas date for them. And I'm sure it's one that they would more or less like to stay away from, and as far as memory is concerned. So yeah, it wasn't a great time for them at all in the Sheen household. And it looked like that was the last time that they had decided to cohabitate, and felt that it just got a little bit too far. Now, I don't know if that was the only time that they've had to have police intervention in their situation, but I do have vague memories of that time in regards to a lot of headlines, you know, being out there. As they said, you know, it was pretty much an evergreen situation when it came to Charlie Sheen. It was something going on, one thing after another, and it was never really good. So yeah, here's hoping that things are a lot calmer in the waters for both of them, and that they're able to move forward, and that their sons are getting the best care that they deserve to have in a home that is not full of toxicity and allows them to function just in life. Life is hard enough as it is. To have a toxic household just adds more to the situation. So yeah, that was basically the scandalous situation that we were going to be referencing for today's story. Pretty scandalous, I would say. There was a lot going on with them. Like I said, a lot of issues. Substance abuse was definitely alleged in the situation. And just, one thing after another when it came to these two, they were just really felt like they were more or less oil and water as a couple. So hopefully they've both been able to move on to greater pastures. We'll just have to see, I guess, if they should pop up in the news for anything else other than negativity. So with that, we're going to wrap up this portion of the video on the scandalous story. But definitely would love to know your thoughts on it. If you remember the story, drop it down in the comment section. Let me know what you were thinking at the time, of what was going on and what you were hearing. And have you heard anything positive since the situation? I know that he had did a few stand-ups, I think, at some point, stand-up comedian type stuff, I believe, and then it just went kind of quiet. So, anything you would like to share on that, definitely leave those down in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation about it. Also, too, if you thought of any scandalous stories that was going on in 2009 that you want to share, feel free to share them down below as well. I just thought this was quite an interesting take on scandal for sure, because it seemed like that's what a lot was going on when it came to Charlie Sheen, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and move on to the next part of this fourth day for the 12 days. What we're going to be sharing now is a Christmas movie that I do believe probably didn't get the most accolades or so, but I believe it was a fan favorite, or one that made us, oh yeah, this definitely was. Now, I did happen to see a little bit of the fact that it did also have a Christmas tone to it. I myself have not watched this movie, but I do remember hearing about it. It seemed like it was a really, really popular movie and everybody seems to love it. And you know how it goes. Sometimes a movie will come out and it's not really maybe the best movie, but everybody, it gets its way into the meal of information, and it's just forced down your throat that this is the best thing ever. But it doesn't feel like everybody felt that way. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the snarky when it comes to the response here for this individual and what they thought about this movie here, Love Actually. And if you have actually watched this movie and you enjoyed it, or maybe you might agree with the statement here, definitely make sure you drop that your thoughts down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Love Actually, the comment of the day for this one, again coming from BuzzFeed, was that Love Actually is awful. The jokes fell flat and there were too many plot lines to keep up with. And some of the characters deserve so much better. Now, isn't that the way? Sometimes when we come across situations where there's a movie where a lot of great actors are in that movie and you expect that movie to actually take hold and do such a good job and that everything about that movie is going to be beloved. And then you come across the movie and you have all these great artists with all this big talent, but the movie falls flat. And so the first thing that people go to directly is the director or even the writers of the show or of the movie, because it could never be the issue apparently of those who are the acting. And some will say that, well, they're only, giving what material they can get and work with. So I don't know what really the Rotten Tomato score was for this movie and what people were looking at as far as the positivity level for this movie, but I had never heard anything negative about it. So I was actually pretty shocked that this was one of those beloved movies that came around in the Christmas time and that it wasn't at all admired by every single person. So if you actually saw this movie and you thought it was a great movie, again, go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. If you think that, I kind of agree with it, that it really wasn't the best movie and it really didn't need to be done, you can go ahead and drop that down below as well. I would love to know your thoughts on that. And yeah, so I think this one's actually going to be a pretty quick one today, but I am so glad that you were able to spend a little bit of time with me. I hope that you're shopping or whatever things that you're doing when it comes to the holiday situation here that we're having, that you're having a great day nevertheless, or of course a great day whenever you actually get to see this video. So yeah, definitely I would also like to know know if you wanted to share what your plans are for the holidays, and what's your favorite movie for the holidays. Of course, I mean, at the end of the day, we all have different tastes when it comes to movies, and there's some commonality in the fact that certain movies are just one of the ones that we all would love and everything. And I'm always looking for a new movie, new things to look at and view for the Christmas time to keep me in the holiday spirit. So if you have any recommendations for any movies that you like around the holiday time frame, definitely leave those down below. I would so appreciate that. And also, while you're at it, if there's any kind of recipes that you like, as far as drink recipes or food recipes or anything of that nature, I always like to come up with certain things myself when it comes to holiday to kind of change things up. And I also like new ideas for that too. So definitely leave those down below as well. And anything else that you want to share in regards to just how you're doing would be great as well too. So I think with that, I think I'm going to bid you adieu. I thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope again that you're doing well. And if you are new here and you haven't had an opportunity to hit the subscribe button, I hope that you will and be part of the family, be part of the community. I would so love to have you, and I would so appreciate you. And thank you so much again for your viewing and listening support for all of you that have been here. It really does mean the world to me. I truly do enjoy doing this series. It's really for me helping me get stay a little bit more focused in the holiday spirit, just because we're talking about things holiday driven, and even though they're a little scandalous, oh well, I can't win them all. But I appreciate you so much for taking the time to view. So with that, definitely make sure you keep your all notification bells on, because I will be back again tomorrow with the 5th day of the 12 days of a scandalous Christmas story. And yeah, I'll probably be starting to infuse some modern time stories as well here soon. So definitely make sure that you keep your notification bell on so you don't miss any of the uploads. And I think with that, I'm going to again bid you adieu. You take care, be blessed, stay safe, stay warm. And until tomorrow. Bye.